For so many people who come to work in the UK, getting settlement is the ultimate goal. It's that moment you can finally build a permanent home. For years, that path was pretty clear, 5 years. But what if that journey suddenly tripled? A new proposal could stretch that wait to a staggering 15 years. Let's get into what that really means.
So let's talk about someone at the very heart of this. This is Arjun Sharma. He's a senior care worker who came to the UK on a health and care visa back in 2023. And like thousands of others, he arrived with a really clear understanding of the rules. His entire plan, his family's future, it was all built around that 5-year timeline.
But under these new proposals, that path is being completely torn up and redrawn. And the change is just massive. We're not talking about a small tweak here. For people like Arjun, the finish line for settlement could move from 5 years all the way out to 15. So what on earth is driving this huge shift?
To really get our heads around this, we have to see that the whole idea of settlement is being looked at differently. This isn't just about making the timeline longer, it's a completely new philosophy.
Okay, first things first, what are we even talking about here? Indefinite leave to remain, or ILR. That's the official name for settlement, or settled status. It's basically the finish line. It means you're free from immigration controls and you can truly build a life here. This is the prize at the end of the journey for Arjun and his family.
And this quote from an immigration solicitor, wow, it absolutely nails the new government thinking. Before, settlement was seen as a pretty standard step after years of working and contributing legally. Now it's being reframed as a privilege, something you have to constantly prove you deserve over a much, much longer time.
All right, let's tackle that big number, 15 years. Where did that come from? And maybe more importantly, why is it being aimed at this specific group of workers who we know are so essential?
Now, this is absolutely crucial. This 15-year baseline isn't for everybody. It's specifically proposed for people on the health and care visa who are in jobs considered below RQF level 6. Now, that's roughly equivalent to a bachelor's degree. And it directly includes roles like senior care worker, just like Arjun.
Which, of course, brings up a massive question. You can just imagine Arjun asking, wait, why us? I mean, these are the very people recruited to fill critical gaps in the UK's own health and social care system. So why make their path to stability so much longer?
Well, the government's consultation paper gives a few key reasons. First, there's just been a huge number of people, 616,000, who arrived on this route in just 2 years. That's led to forecasts of a massive wave of settlement applications down the line. There are also concerns about the financial costs, especially from dependents who might not be working and could access public funds after getting settled status. So the policy's aimed at this group to try and manage those numbers and costs.
Okay, so it's not just about time. Before anyone can even start the clock on their 15 years, this new earned settlement idea is built on 4 fundamental pillars. Think of them as the absolute must-haves for everyone.
So what are they? First up, character. That means a clean criminal record, no debt to the government. Second is integration. You've got to pass the Life in the UK test. Third, contribution. You need to be earning more than the basic tax threshold. And fourth, lawful residence. For now, Arjun is ticking all these boxes. His £25,000 salary is comfortably above that threshold.
But hang on, because this is where things get really complicated. That 15-year baseline, it's not totally fixed. The whole thing is designed as a time adjustment model. You can do things to shorten your time, but you can also make mistakes that add years, even a decade, to your wait.
So how could Arjun speed things up? Well, one of the main ways is to earn a lot of money, but we're talking a lot. To knock 5 years off his time, he'd need to earn over £50,000 a year for 3 years in a row. For Arjun, making £25,000, that's literally double his salary. For most people in his line of work, that's just not realistic.
Okay, so what else is on the table? Well, getting your English skills to a super high level might shave off 1 year. If he switched careers entirely, retrained as a doctor or nurse, he could get it down to 5 years. But that's a whole different life. And while there's talk of getting credit for extensive volunteering, that's still just an idea. So for Arjun, right now, that 15-year path looks pretty solid.
And then there's the other side of this. The penalties for non-compliance are severe. Let's say Arjun's family fell on hard times and he had to claim public funds, something like universal credit. That could add 5 years to his timeline. If he claimed them for over a year, it could add 10. All of a sudden, a 15-year journey has become a 25-year one.
And of course, this long, precarious journey isn't just about Arjun. A really critical and frankly worrying part of this whole new proposal is how it affects families.
This is a massive change from how things used to work.
In the old system, Arjun's wife would almost certainly get settlement at the same time he did. But under these plans, adult dependents have to qualify all on their own. Her path is no longer linked to his. She has to climb her own mountain, by herself.
But the situation for kids is even more precarious. Think about Arjun's daughter. She was 9 when they got here. In 9 years, she'll turn 18. By the time Arjun is finally eligible for settlement, she'll be 24. She risks aging out of her dependent status, which means she could find herself, as a young adult, having to find a completely new way to stay in the only country she really knows as home.
So, after all that, what does this actually mean for Arjun? Let's pull it all together and look at the long road that's now potentially ahead of him.
For Arjun to finally get settlement in the year 2038, he has to meet every single one of these conditions, without fail, for 15 straight years. He has to stay in a sponsored job, keep a perfect character record, pass his tests, prove he's contributing, and never, ever make a mistake that brings a penalty. It's a 15-year marathon of perfect compliance.
You know, there's a powerful metaphor used in the source material that just captures this new reality perfectly. The journey isn't a clear path anymore. It's like a 15-year expedition across a mountain range where the map keeps changing. And you have to constantly prove you have the supplies, your contribution, your compliance, or you risk getting sent right back to the very beginning.
And that really leaves us with this final thought. For people like Arjun, who came here to care for some of the UK's most vulnerable people, a change like this turns their world upside down. It takes settlement from a clear, achievable goal and pushes it into a distant, uncertain future. And it really makes you ask, when the path to belonging is a decade and a half long, what does settlement even mean anymore?